Hey gamers, Carmine here, and I got a chance to play in the Black Ops 3 beta just this week. I thought I'd give you a little bit of an idea of what I think the game's going to go with and my impressions overall and what that might mean for you guys. So, if you've played the past couple years of Call of Duty, you'll have a good idea of what to expect with this beta. It's very, very much like what Call of Duty Ghosts was, and especially Black Ops 2. I remember it being a lot like Black Ops 2. For me, this wasn't a great thing. I'm not a huge fan of Black Ops 2, just the pacing of it. It's very fast-paced, very twitchy, and that's fine. That's it's definitely going to play towards COD veterans, especially for the past few games. But for me personally, I liked a little bit slower pace of the first Modern Warfare, and even Modern Warfare 3 was the last Call of Duty game that I played multiplayer even remotely seriously. But it seems to be exactly what Call of Duty veterans want and what they expect in the past few games. It's great for TDM, it's fast-paced, like I said, but for new players, or players that haven't played the past few Call of Duties or didn't enjoy the past few Call of Duties, you're probably going to want to try and steer clear of this one. And there are a lot of little elements and big elements that add up to make it so that it was not a particularly enjoyable experience. Now, this is not going to be the same thing for zombies in the campaign. If you play for those games, that's totally fine. But for multiplayer alone, if you don't like fast-paced shooters like Unreal Tournament, Quake, or the past COD games, you're not going to enjoy this type of thing. You're not going to be able to go from Battlefield or Arma and jump straight into this one and feel like you're competitive. For new players, I'd recommend going into the Advanced Warfare multiplayer, and they have a noob server there, sort of a starting server where they force you into certain classes, and scores don't really count very much, and they kind of give you a chance to learn the ropes and all that. If you feel like you want to try this one, try that out first, see how you feel about it, see what it's like, and maybe you'll be able to transition a little bit more easily. I don't know if this game will have that, but assuming that it doesn't, start with Advanced Warfare and try that out. If you don't like Advanced Warfare, you're not going to like this. There's differences between them with the exoskeletons, exosuits, and all that kind of stuff, but overall, the general nature of the gameplay is going to be pretty similar. It's Call of Duty. Now, personally, when I think about Call of Duty, I like to split people into 3 different camps. You either love Call of Duty, you hate Call of Duty, or you're sort of indifferent. If you hate Call of Duty, don't even bother. There's nothing in this that's going to make you change your mind. It's not going to be a game-changing kind of Call of Duty thing. If you love Call of Duty, go for it. This is going to be the same type of experience you expected over the past few games. That's totally fine. Now, if you're on the fence about it, let me talk about the things that I didn't like, things that might make you change your mind one way or the other. If you don't care about these, then hey, no big deal, but these are the impressions that I got and the reasons why I will play this game, but I won't play multiplayer with any sort of seriousness. First of all, the spawn system in the game, especially in the objective modes, is absolutely atrocious. It just doesn't make any sense at all. The map designs are, at least the 2 that I played, I don't know if it's going to be different when maps get released, but the 2 that I played are small maps. They are very small, and maybe in terms of general size, they're similar to other Call of Duty maps, and they probably are in some way. They're not as small as Shipment was in the first Modern Warfare, but they don't feel nearly as large as Pipeline, which was the map that I ended up playing the most often. But this leads to a system where there are no good places to spawn on this map. So they try and group you into either 1 or 2 spawn locations, where it's either you're spawning on a friend or you're spawning back at your base. Now, spawning on a friend is problematic because the small map size means that everyone is either back at their base or on the front lines. So you spawn on your friends and you're suddenly in the middle of combat, and you have very little time to react, move, get into position, set yourself up, and try and get acclimated to where exactly you are. If you spawn back at the base, you usually have a little bit more time. The problem is that, especially in the objective modes, enemies are going to be coming into your base, and even if they're not actively spawn camping you, usually an objective is very near your base, and that means that you're spawning within feet of the objective that your enemy is trying to get to. That sucks. It means that you barely have time to move out of your base before you're killed, and the clips that I'm showing right now are exactly what I'm talking about. Just time after time, just killed immediately, barely even getting time to move with before I get killed. There are other things that have been in Call of Duty for a long time that, just don't make any sense. I don't know why they haven't tried to take them into account. For example, there is no penalty for rage quitting. You know, if you start out on a game and someone gets pissed and just is not having a good game, they quit. And on a game like Battlefield or something larger where you have a 32-player team, having one player quit is not a problem. You can have 6 players quit on Battlefield or more, and it's not a huge deal because if you have a 32-man team, it will hurt eventually, but usually you can make up for it, and unless it's a huge swath of your team just leaving all at once, it's not a huge deal. But in Call of Duty, if you have 3 people quit, that's half your team right there. And here, I'll give this, this example. This screenshot right now is straight from a loading screen of one of the matches where I'm on a team with 3 people going up a team against 6 people. And this is partially because people just quit right before the round started, and partially because of the matchmaking system that just has not improved since I started playing Call of Duty. It doesn't seem to take into account skill, it doesn't seem to take into account level, and it doesn't seem to realize that people that are in parties are going to be better off than people that are not in parties. We have servers. I played a server where there were 2 parties, one of 3 people and one of 2 people, and then 5 or 6 random people. And it put the 2 parties together on the same team. That doesn't make any sense. The party people were clanners. They were, freaking going to be wrecking us the whole game, and that's exactly what happened. The 2 parties grouped up together and just decimated everyone. And, I don't know why they haven't started to take into account putting parties on similar servers against each other, so that, having a party makes it so that you're penalized. You're going up against more difficult people. I was in the beginning levels, way less than 15 when I was playing, and just getting wrecked by people that were level 40 plus. And this was not a good experience for me. This is not the kind of thing that made me be like, I want to keep playing this game. I want to go out and buy the multiplayer and buy it and enjoy the game. Even that aside, things like time to kill in this game are less than a second. I had problems where I was recording the game and I thought that there were serious netcode issues with this game. I thought that I was just not getting the hit detectors for the people that were killing me, and I'd get 1 or 2 hit detectors and then die, and wondering what the hell was going on. And I went back and looked at the footage, and no, these guys were just killing me in 2 to 3 shots. From the second that I got hit to the second that I died, for example, in this clip you're seeing right now, is less than a second. There's no chance to react to it and try and save myself. I'm just dead as soon as I get shot at. And, that's fine if that's what Call of Duty is going for right now, but as a player that has been relatively out of the game for a while, I just haven't played it seriously. I play lots of shooters. I play a lot of Battlefield. I played Titanfall pretty religiously. Like all these types of shooters, and I was just, freaking getting wiped in Call of Duty. Part of that is that I like playing objective-based modes. I like playing domination. I like playing capture the flag. I like playing this robotic escort mode. I like taking advantage of the fact that people are, looking at the objective and concentrating on that, and I try and flank people and come up with, real strategies. When I go toe-to-toe against people, I'll probably get killed. And a lot of Call of Duty is going toe-to-toe against individual players. And so, that's fine. I'm not necessarily the player that's going to enjoy Call of Duty in that way. But the objective-based modes, they don't exactly encourage you to play the objective. Like, for instance, they have this robotic escort mode. I don't remember the name of it, but you're supposed to, the attacking team is supposed to defend a robot as it moves throughout the level. And the defending team is supposed to prevent them from getting the robot through the game. The problem is, nobody gets points for playing the objective. I mean, you can see in this clip right here, I'm escorting the robot for a few feet, not getting a single point. So why would I escort the robot when I should be going around and killing people? In fact, it makes less sense to be next to the robot because the enemy team knows exactly where the robot is. There's an icon over it, and they know that if it's moving, someone's right next to it, which means that they're going to be coming up behind me and killing me. So why would I just sit there, and why wouldn't I just play it like a TDM match and go for kills? There's almost no point in playing the objective. And even on the capture the flag rounds, where I went through and I managed to capture the flag once, I was not getting, you don't get many points for capturing the flag, even though it's a very difficult thing to do in a fast-paced shooter like Call of Duty. So why would I bother playing these objective-based modes if they're not even going to try and help me to progress throughout their progression system? If I can't level up quickly from playing the objective and capturing the objective and doing all these things, then I might as well just go back to TDM and play through TDM and try and, get all the unlocks that I want and try and get a better kit and get used to the system. And then maybe go back to Capture the Flag for fun, because it's certainly not going to help the progression system at all. Controls were totally fine. Wall running was, not as smooth as Titanfall. It felt a little more contrived. They clearly set up certain spots on the map. There's no verticality in it, that you have at most a second floor, but it's not like Titanfall where you can just climb on every single building, get as high as you want to, and shoot down at people. And it's not going to be like that. It's just a way to try and move more quickly from one place to another, but you don't actually get a speed boost from wall running, so it didn't really help too much. But overall, like I said before, if you like Call of Duty, if you like the previous games, especially Black Ops 2, you're gonna love this game. That's fine. And in terms of the content and all that, I'm expecting things to be exactly like Black Ops 2. If you don't like Call of Duty, just avoid this. You're not going to enjoy it. You're not going to change your mind. If you're on the fence about it, I wouldn't recommend this one. Just purely on the multiplayer alone. I don't know how campaign's going to be. I don't know how zombies is going to be. But purely based on multiplayer, I wouldn't recommend this game. I'd go back to Advanced Warfare, try that one. I had a little bit more fun with that one. If you can, I don't know if there are still servers up, but try Modern Warfare 3, a little bit slower pace, something that allows you to get up and get used to it, especially with the kill streak system. Kill streaks in general, I'm not a huge fan. They create a snowballing effect where the team that is winning gets rewarded for winning by winning more quickly. It doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't you try and help the team that's losing to make things a little more balanced, to make up for the fact that the losing team is not as good? Different problem. That's just a Call of Duty thing that's been the same for 5+ years now. But like I said, I wouldn't recommend this one. I'd stick with Advanced Warfare or go to Titanfall or even Battlefield 4. There are plenty of other shooters out there that I think are better and allow people to play with a little more flexibility. But that being said, I will do a full content review like I normally do. Definitely going to play through campaign and play through zombies. That being said, this is Treyarch, and we can expect things to be a little more violent, a lot more bloody. So I don't know what exactly age limit's going to be, but there definitely was blood and gore in the multiplayer, so I expect that to definitely carry over into the campaign, and especially in zombies. I'm looking into doing some Twitch streaming, so hopefully that will make things go a little bit faster. You guys can take a look at the way the game's being played and how violent it is, what the general content is. I'll talk about the stuff that I'm seeing and the impressions that I get. But that will be hopefully in addition to the content reviews, just to make it so that you guys can get impressions within the first week or so of a game coming out. Looking on setting up a Twitch stream or maybe doing YouTube gaming, but we'll see. It'll depend on if YouTube gaming gets on the consoles or not. Alright, that's it, guys. Thanks.